This is the Union Jack. I'm going to stand this way because it is very important that it is shown the right way. And the right way is with the thicker white stripe being at the top left. If this is anywhere near the bottom, it has to be this thick white stripe at the top. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Then the smaller red, then the blue, then the smaller white, and the cross. The Union Jack is actually the flag of the United Kingdom. The United Kingdom is more than England. And sometimes we get that. We get a lot of calling the flag of the United Kingdom the flag of England. I own a flag shop. I know. They walk in, they want a flag of England. And I have to say, do you want England or do you want the United Kingdom? And I get a puzzled look. Yes, they're different. England is one of the countries in the United Kingdom. You have Northern Ireland, Wales, Scotland, the Isle of Man. They're all part of the United Kingdom. And we, by way of the Commonwealth of Nations, are also still connected to the United Kingdom, but we are an independent country, the Bahamas. In flag terminology, the words ensign and jack are interchangeable with the word flag. They mean one and the same, but which one is used depends on the context or the organization. You'd find that the Royal Bahamas Defense Force would say ensign, because that's how they refer to their flags, or jack, ensign or jack. It is important to make the distinction between the flag of England and the flag of the United Kingdom, as I said. The flag now flown in representation of the independent country known as the Commonwealth of the Bahamas is commonly referred to as the aquamarine black and gold. This is because of its colors, all of which have special significance. And the significance of the colors, and this too is important that we would need to realize. We know that the aqua represent our waters, colors of our waters. We know that the gold represents the sunshine, the sandy shores, whatever resources we may have. This year, the black does not represent the people. That's a common mistake. The black was chosen because the meaning of the color black is strength. So this represents the strength, the vigor, and the determination of the people to succeed. And the triangle pointing into the flag to give it a forward movement indicates the determination to succeed, to go forward. So we have to bear that in mind when it comes to the national flag of the Bahamas. The middle flag, which I did not talk about, this is the actual flag of England. So if you see anyone with this on their cars or whatever, they're from England. They don't use the United Kingdom. They are representing the country that they're from. They're from England. If you were to take a closer look at the United Kingdom flag, you will see that the middle of the flag has the same red cross. It's a combination of the cross of St. George, which is what this flag is also called, the cross of St. George. It also has the blue for the British blue. It has the white cross in the diagonal, that's for Scotland. So it's a combination. And then this here, this tiny, the smaller red stripe, that was put there when Northern Ireland joined the United Kingdom. And they came up with that because they couldn't really use what was used for the Ireland flag. So that was the compromise. to put the smaller red stripe, which is why when you look at the flag for the Union, this is what happened, right? When you look at the British flag, the British Union flag, from 1646, 1634 to 1707, what do you see? That small red stripe is not there, because Ireland was not part of the United Kingdom at the time. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thought they were going to be quite fine, but all right. So when it comes to the protocol of the national flag, which now represents us, we became independent, we are our own governance, we run our own show up to a certain point. We handle our own business. We have our own symbols. We have 10 symbols that represent our nationhood. The most familiar ones are the picture ones: the flag, the tree, the national tree, right? There you go. The picture ones: the flower, the bird. The more familiar ones are the pictures, but the symbol of our nationhood is also our national anthem. We sing that because we're Bahamians. Our pledge, our motto, forward, upward, onward, together. The written symbols are also our national symbols. So we have to bear that in mind too when we talk about our national symbols. And there's one, I think that we sing this one, it's the national song. It's actually sung almost every independence, but we know it as God Bless Our Sunny Clime, but it is the national song. It is the national song. So we actually have 10 symbols of our nationhood, more than just the pictures. Now how that is displayed, I'm going to show you what could be considered. We had talked earlier about a flag being representative of a flag in distress, to show distress if you get into any problems. You can actually take this flag, turn it with the triangle up. That means you're in trouble, SOS. That's what it's supposed to mean. There's a story of a young lady who had gotten sent to her room by her parents in the United States. And because she was taught flag protocol in kindergarten, she took her flag of the United States and hung it upside down in her window. Someone saw it and called the police. True story. The police came, and the final analysis was she was upset because she got grounded. So she was trying to get her parents in trouble. Of course, they didn't get in trouble. I mean, she might have gotten in trouble later, but you know, they don't report that part. they don't report that part. But the interesting thing is the knowledge was given to her in kindergarten, and she knew what to do to use it. When I speak to, when I used to speak to the students going to UWI, I would tell them how to use this flag. If they're having a Bahamas UWI affair, whatever, and it's put on by them, and they are quite right to put this flag with the flag of Jamaica, but just make sure that when the audience is looking at it, it would be just like this. Like reading a book, the first one you see would be the national flag of the Bahamas, and then the flag of whoever else. If the event was being hosted by UWI in Jamaica or Barbados, or wherever their campus is, and the Bahamas was just a part of all of the nations being represented, then the host country would be the first flag you see. And that would have been Jamaica, and then the rest of the flags actually have to be in alphabetical order according to the formal name of the country. Now, we get in trouble with the formal name a lot, especially when it comes to the United States of America, because we're so used to saying America, America. But the formal name is United States of America. So if we were to put the flag of the United States of America in this display, it would actually be the last one you see, because United Kingdom comes before United States. That is how flag protocol works. And flag protocol does not change. Next time you watch a news conference, and they have a display of flags, that display in the back of whomever is at the front of that conference, that will not change. Because the protocol that's been established, it's been established by the United Nations itself. And there are certain things that the United Nations says. They said all the flags, if they're being displayed together by member countries, and not every country is a member of the United Nations. Case in point, North Korea, not a member of the United Nations. That's why, I don't know why, but you know, maybe because no one is there to say, hey, you know, we're all in this together. But this, the protocol is, all the flags must be the same size if they're being displayed together. They must all be the same size. Whether they're small, like this little one here, or whether they are large, like those ones over there, they must all be the same size. Because any country that has a bigger flag with a smaller flag is actually showing dominance over the others. So you have to be careful with that. When you're having any conferences or events displaying national flags, make sure they're all the same size. Make sure that the host country is first and the others are in alphabetical order according to the formal name of the country. That's important as well. That is very, very important. Also make sure that you do not hang the flag upside down. Now, in our case, we're good. If I took this off and flipped it and put the bottom at the top, we're still good. Nothing changes with our flag. You take that flag and you turn it upside down, you'll hear about it. You will hear about it. We have a client who buys flags from us on a regular basis, and one time hung the United Kingdom outside their building, upside down. Someone came to visit them, and the first thing he said, "Why is my flag upside down?" And the poor guy, he didn't know. He didn't even know what he meant by upside down. As far as he was concerned, he put the flag up. But it has to be the correct way. And in some cases, if you turn one flag upside down, you hang it upside down, it actually means another country. So you have to be careful with that. You must get to know your flags, know what it is you're doing. But as far as the Bahamas flag protocol is concerned, standard things that should not be done with any national flag. Don't burn it. Don't tear it. Don't use it for a tablecloth. You know, sometimes we want to be decorative and we put it on the table, but no. The whole purpose of it is for representation, which means it has to be where it can be displayed by itself, where it can fly free. Don't dirty it. Don't use it to wrap anything up in. No toting with the flag. No. Don't do any of that stuff. Always make sure. And if it starts to fray, and what I say to persons is this. The first thing to break on the flag is the thread, not the fabric. So once the thread goes, then automatically the fabric is going to start fraying. But you can catch that in time, and you can deal with that. Now, there are other ways, of course, half-masting the flag, how you display it. I covered some of that with flags of other nations. And then there are other flags of the Bahamas that a lot of us may not be aware of. We have one national flag. Unfortunately for us, that national flag has not changed since it came into existence in 1973. It didn't change when the F&M came in, it didn't change when the BLP came in, it didn't change under the UBP, it did not, well, it wasn't under the UBP, but it didn't change at all. It stayed. We have other, what we call official flags of the country. And these would be the flags of the Prime Minister, the House of Assembly, the Senate, the Cabinet Ministers. Those are official flags representing official government agencies. I'm sorry, the executive official flags. Then we have what's called subnational flags. Now, I don't have pictures of those because they're all in this book. So you can just get the book and you'll be straight, like we say. You'll be good to go. Okay, but you also have subnational flags, and these would be flags of government agencies, customs, immigration, road traffic, Ministry of Education, anything like that. Those are subnational. So even when you are displaying those, if you go by government buildings, you'll see most of them have 3 flag poles. That's because the middle one is usually the highest. That's for the national flag. And then the first one would be the bottom 2, which are usually the same height, would be for whichever ministries are in that building. That's what those poles are for. They're not always used like that, because some agencies don't have their own flag yet. But that's what it's all about when you see that. So I hope that I've enlightened you in some way. I hope that this is useful information, that you didn't waste your time. you came and then you got something that is beneficial. And thank you so much for the invitation. And anytime you're ready, I'll be back. Thank you.